What up, my geeks? Jeffrey Powers here from Geekazine, and today I'm going to show you how to create videos, how I create my videos in Premiere Pro. Just an informative little video right here. And hey, how you doing? Jeffrey Powers from Geekazine, Think Magazine, Put in a Geek. And you got me. You can go over to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, twitch.tv/Geekazine. Of course, you can see Geekazine live as it happens. You can see all the videos. We come on to the show every now and then live and show you instructional stuff like this and a lot more. So go over there and like, subscribe, click the bells for notification, and of course, get your rocks over at Twitch. Find out more over there, twitch.tv/Geekazine. So today I'm showing you how I use Premiere Pro. Now last year I decided, since I work in a PC and a Mac environment, I needed an editor that can do both. And so I chose the Adobe line, since I was using Photoshop anyway for the graphics and using Audition for some of my podcasting efforts. I figured, why not just put it all together and use Premiere Pro. So for the last year, I've been, most of my videos have gone through Premiere Pro in the editing process. Now, I want to show you how I do my editing process, because I think it's very important, because A, I might not be doing it right, or I might be doing it B, I might be doing it some way that you might not, you think you might be doing it right or wrong. I guess there's no real right or wrong way, but this is my way. And I've never been trained on how to do it this way. I just figured that by setting it up this way, it makes my life a little bit easier when I'm going and I'm creating new content all the time. Now, how I do it is, first of all, is I go in and I create a template sheet here. And in this case, this is my template right here, where I have a template already created. I have all my editable content, the audio and anything that I would need to add, like the overlay, like my Geekazine bug that you see down in the corner right here, and anything like that. So that all that stuff is put into this one. So if I go out to, let's say I go out to CES, or I go out to South by Southwest or NAB or anything like that, I will create its own folder, own file system with the template that's focused towards that event. So, and that makes life easier, because then I can just cut and paste and go, put it into a container and let it fly from there. So in this case, I'm going to tell you everything that I do, because I think it's very important. And in this case, I'm actually using a program called Wirecast to record. Now, if you've never seen my studio setup, let me show you it really quick. Here is, and I just moved everything, finished moving everything around. Here's my studio setup. This is what I am looking at right now. It's a 40-inch TV with the camera in front. And of course, there is Wirecast as I'm recording. Let me focus that. Okay, perfect. So when I do the recording, you see me in the little viewfinder in the middle there. I'm looking at that camera, and then I'm using Wirecast to record the video in. Now let's switch back to me. So, and I've got several different cameras in which I can do that and go from there. That TV also can be used as a teleprompter. So if I have somebody on the show, or if I have to read from a script, I can read from there. So once I'm done recording it, I put it into a folder inside of Premiere Pro. In this case, I have this in what I call the folder I call Create Video Premiere, which is right there. And then I made a little talking MP4, just a couple minute thing that I can do some quick editing to. So I'm going to right click on this, and I'm going to say, okay, create a sequence from the clip. And there it's got the sequence. Now, in this case, I'm just going straight up with the sequence, but in some cases, I have to be conscious about the audio, because I recorded this in stereo. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do some quick editing. So looking for the breaks in this case, and as opposed to any miscues or anything like that. Like for instance, at the beginning, I'll get up to the beginning part here, and then I'll hit the Q button. It's a standard hotkey that Premiere Pro uses. It basically says cut everything before this from the break, from your line break here. So I'll hit Q, and there, it's now here to the point. Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers here from Geekazine. Right, so now I'm going to go over here to this part where there's a major break, and I'm going to do Control K, and that's going to cut that. And then I'm going to go to the next one, and then I'm going to hit that Q button, and that's going to bring that in here, and that's going to be my major editing. And I'm going to do that once again. Of course, most of the time I'm listening and I'm trying to figure out how to merge things together. Like for instance, if in this case I needed to put two sentences together, I would do that by coming in here and doing the Q, and then I'd go in here and I'd just right click on in between the split and say apply default transitions. Now I'll then go into the transition, and of course I should be in the editing window here. Let me just switch it over here. So I'm going to go into the transition, which we'll see right there. Look at that. And it says duration of 14 seconds, which I want to take it down to maybe 2 seconds. So it's going to be really, 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 really small. And then of course I can make the adjustments from here, and then I can make adjustments from there. But with that, you could have either a harsh cut or a smooth cut, and it really depends on the situation. And I will do smooth cuts if I feel like I need to. I missed a part, like let's say I stumbled on a couple words, I have to change that so you don't hear that middle in the middle right there. But you get the idea. Is with all the editing is going to be done through this part. So now I've cut down my footage. I've got my editing up. I still have to finish this one, so I'll go to the end and I'll hit, in this case I'll hit W to get rid of this end part right here, and that has done that. So now I have a fully edited talking video. So from here, what I can do is I can put my anything I want, like overlay graphics or B-roll or anything like that, goes right into here nicely. The next thing I'll do is I will work on any type of color grading in here. So I'll go to the color, and in this case I don't need, I'm not doing any major coloring, so I'll skip that for now. But I will go in the audio. That's the next thing I will do. And in this case, what I want to do is I want to give my voice a little bit high, more high end to it, and a little mastery feel to it. So what I'll do is I will go into here. Now there's, what's interesting with the audio, you have several different windows here, and usually you see this window, but I'll go over to this window, the audio track mixer, and in this case it'll look like this when you first come in. You'll hit this arrow right here, and these things will pop up. This is your sound rack, and this is really nice. And you can do it a couple different ways, but I like to do it this way. What I'll do is I will first put on a amplitude of compression, a hard limiter. I'll double click on the hard limiter here, and I will say, okay, we'll just do -3 dB. So now all my vocals are going to be brought up to a point where it can be heard, especially over any type of music. So do that, and then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to Special, and I'm going to say Mastering. Now this gives me a little bit of high end, and I usually use the default here, but I bring this down a little bit like that, and I suppose I could save that as its own profile, but this gives it a nice crisp sound when I'm talking, so I enjoy that a lot. So all right, well now I have the audio and I have the video, and if I do any, like I said, B-roll or anything, that also will go into that line. Now it's ready to get into the overlays and putting the bugs and all that other good stuff on there. So what I will do is I will go over to template, which is something I've created a long time ago, and it's right there. And what I'll do is I'll actually just copy and paste it. So now it's another template. I'll give it a new name, and I'll say Talking 18. something simple like that. Open it up, and now you can see my what I've got here. Let's zoom in a little bit. So basically what I've got inside here is I've got some music, intro and outro. I've got my my bug, my lower third bug, and then all the graphics I might need, like for instance the intro, my lower third, socials, and then this one right here, which basically calls out to the product, which is really nice. Now in this case, I'm taking the talking point and I'm going to put this all in here. So what I'll do is I'll go to talking, it just saves. So I'll go to talking, and then I'll bring this. So I'll bring this in. There we go. And there's my video. I'm talking. The template I have set at 4K, and of course I just recorded, I believe, in 1080p. And then I'll just do a quick zoom out. You can do this many different ways. This is just the easiest way to do it. Now, with this, what I will do is I will start shortening all these things and figure out what I'm going to keep and what I'm going to toss. Like the music, maybe I might put in different music, intro and outro, and go from there. So do I need an intro? So let's look at the beginning here. Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers here from Geekazine. Today we're going to talk about absolutely nothing, because this is a test video in which I am going to be showing you how I edit video in Premiere Pro. So I'll stop here, and this is where I'm going to put in that first part here. So I'm just going to do the cut from this and then bring this over. So I'm not going to use, I'm going to have my socials, and I'm going to have my lower third, which I'm going to bring over here. I'm going to bring, this is the title video, and then this is my Geekazine bug, which I will have put right there. So now when when it goes through, you'll see the lower third come in, and then I'll talk, and then my intro comes in, and then there's my lower bug. I'll bring my socials closer, and then this just simple graphic that talks about the product. So we'll just say we'll bring it over here, call out style. We'll go save it first. We'll go over to graphics, and I'll say geekazine.com. Boom. There we go, geekazine.com. I can make all my adjustments over here if I want to, but we'll keep it as simple as possible, so we keep this thing flowing. Now, as you notice, the audio was pretty darn loud, and there's a way to, we're going to fix that in a second here. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make the music, I'm going to just bring it over here so it fades out as quick as possible, because I'm going to have it come in at the end and fade back in. We've got right here, we've got my YouTube link, and usually I have this set at about the 1.5 minute mark, and this all depends on how your YouTube videos go. If you go in your analytics and you say, and it says the major drop off is at 1 minute 30 seconds, you should put something like that on there. If it's at 1 minute, you should put something at the 1 minute mark. So, and of course, if they're shorter videos, you just got to improvise a little bit. So we'll move that over there. And then we'll put in, we've got my final socials right there, and then of course the end bug, which shows geekazine.com. So now we've got it pretty much lined up. I'll just have to do one thing here, and that is line the music up with this final bug. So now I'm talking, you see all this cool stuff happening, the socials, and then the final bug. Simple as that. And the reason, like I said, the reason why I like to do the template over putting it all into one session is giving it the opportunity to work on its own and separate things. Now, there's one more thing I need to do here, and that is fix the audio. So I'll go over to audio, and inside audio, I'll choose the clip for the music in. I'll go to music. And this is brand new in 2018 on Premiere Pro. I'll go into loudness, and I'll hit auto match, and that'll bring it down, the volume down, and then I'll choose this button on the bottom that says ducking. And what happens is when I talk, the music will go down a little bit, and when I stop talking, music goes back up. And of course I have it set with the auto match, so it's a lower than my voice to begin with, and then it'll duck even more, and it's not even noticeable when it's done that way. If you kept the loudness at the same thing and the ducking, all of a sudden it'd be like really loud and then really soft and then really loud, so you'd notice that difference. But I like it this way because it keeps everything nice and even. So, and I do this, and I don't do this in the template beforehand because I don't know what I'm going to be putting into this. I mean, it could be a slideshow of pictures where there's no text, no talking involved. It's just going to be straight up music. So I want to keep the audio at the right level, at the original levels if I need them. So there we go. I just have, that's what I do with putting this all together. So now when I go to render it, you can see how easy that is to put together and go from there. And then if I need to make any changes, I just go into the template and make the change. Or if I need to make a change inside of what I said, maybe I messed up on my cuts, I just have to fix the cut a little bit, I can do that, and then go in here, and I won't have, and the best part is I won't have to do too much messing around. Let's say I take out a small chunk from the video here, then I'll have to move things over but in the final, but it's not that difficult to do. So that is how I put all my videos together using Premiere Pro. And it's like I said, you might be doing it different than what I do, but this is how I do it. It's to try and keep the process going as quick as possible. So if you have a better idea on that, maybe through the template, through the editing process that I'm not doing, let me know. Tweet me over at Geekazine or geekazine@gmail.com, and definitely contact me, and let's talk about how you put together your videos. So this is how I create videos in Premiere Pro. A little informational thing for you, and this is what I do when I'm out on the road. This is what I do when I'm in the studio as well. Thanks a lot for watching. You guys geek out and take care.